Chapter 10 is going to take the solving equations one step further. Earlier in the year you learned about solving regular equations, and to do that we talk about getting the variable by itself. So in this particular case, in order to get this variable all by itself, we'd have to get rid of the plus 3. So in order to get rid of plus 3, we have to do the opposite, which in this case means to subtract 3. And then we apply our algebra mantra. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. This, of course, cancels out, so I'm just left with x equals 2. So now let's take that a step further. But before we make that leap, fill in your orders of operation. This is the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So take a second and fill that in. And the way I like to remember solving equations is I need to work that orders of operation backwards. So instead of please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, you end up with Aunt Sally, my dear, excuse, and then parentheses, which gives you that. Now, for the sake of example, I'm going to skip this first one right here and come to this second one down here. The first thing that I would do, and it's not up here in this orders of operation, but I would get rid of fractions. Fractions just make life more complicated to deal with. I think most of you would agree with me on that. So let's get rid of this fraction. So in order to get rid of divided by 2, I have to do the opposite of divided by 2, which would be multiply by 2. And what I do to one side, I do to the other. So I'm showing multiplying by 2 up here, which 2 over 2 cancels itself out and just leaves me with 1. So if I multiply by 2 on this side, I have to multiply by 2 on this side. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. This brings me to having just b plus 24 equals, multiply these and get 26. Now you're back down to an equation that you know how to solve. I need to get rid of plus 24, so I need to subtract 24 from both sides. So when I subtract 24 from both sides, this leaves me with nothing, which just bring down my b. 26 minus 24 is 2. And what I love about these kinds of equations and solving for these equations is I can know without any doubt whether or not this is the right answer or not. All I have to do is take the 2, take your solution, and put it back up here and see if it works. So put in your solution that you come up with, put it back in for your variable. So 2 plus 24 is 26. 26 divided by 2 is, voila, 13. So 2 does work for this solution. Let's move on to our next example. We'll come back to that word problem in just a minute. Remember, I want to work my orders of operation backwards, and I don't have any fractions to deal with. So let's come back up to our orders of operation when we work it backwards. So I want to deal with the adding and subtracting first, which means I need to deal with this guy right here. So in order to get rid of minus 17, I need to add 17. Say it with me. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Bring down my 14q. That cancels out. Add my 17, so I'm left with 14q equals 56. So now I'm down to doing the opposite of this right here. These two are stuck together, which means to multiply. So to undo multiply, I need to divide. So I'm going to divide by 14 to get q all by itself. If I divide by 14 on this side, I have to divide by 14 on this side, which of course leaves me with q equals 4. Pick up with tutorial 2 and we'll keep going with these examples.